In this video, we will be tasting and comparing spring 2021 with summer 2021 harvest of Alishan High Mountain Oolong tea. Here we have spring harvest on our left and summer harvest on our right from the same source, same farm. And we'll be talking about the appearance and differences in quality of the picked leaves as well as the qualities in the brewed tea. We took 9 grams of dried tea leaves and brewed them for 70 seconds first in these 150 milliliter tea judging cups, and then for 60 seconds second. And we have the brewed leaves on the sides of the second brew. And before we get into tasting them, we can just take a quick look at the dried leaves. One of the things that happened for the summer harvest on the right is that due to the COVID situation currently in Taiwan and recently, the remote areas are hesitant to bring in any outside workers. So the leaves were harvested, hand-picked by locals only. This not only increased the safety factor, but it also increased the quality of the picked leaves. In recent years, the quality has been somewhat compromised due to the pickers not being locals that sort of work cooperatively for each other, picking each other's tea basically, which is what has happened historically. Now they are migrant farm workers that get paid by weight, and they tend to pick leaves that are slightly overly mature and not ideal in terms of the end product, the quality of the end product. We can see that there is more stem material in the spring tea, which is a standard, that is the standard in the last decade or so. And here on the right, the summer harvest has less stem material, and there's a bit of more uniform color, a more uniform dark green for the summer tea. So that's one plus for the recent summer harvest, is that it was picked only by locals, and the quality of the leaves picked is significantly, or at least noticeably, better. We can also see that in the brewed leaves. Again, this is a standard, what we normally get every season. They're not overly mature, but there is some significant stem material in there. It also has to do with the maturity of the leaves, of course, when they decide to harvest. We can see here that there's just much less obvious stem material. There are stems there, but they're not prominent in the overall mix, so to speak. In terms of the processing of the leaves, we can see that the spring harvest is slightly lighter in the color of the brewed tea, indicating that it was oxidized a bit less. And the summer harvest, conversely, would be oxidized a bit more and showing a bit deeper golden hue to the brewed tea. Both of them are quite transparent. The aroma coming out of the brewing cups after the brewing had different qualities for sure. The spring tea still maintained its famous spring quality, so to speak. It had a very fresh, floral, vegetal kind of aromatic profile to it. The summer tea has a little more substantial but mellowed, possibly savory, kind of buttery pastry quality to the aromatic profile. Okay, let's have a sip and see what we got. Okay, the flavor profiles are in alignment with the qualities that we just spoke about, or the differences between the spring and the summer harvest. The spring tea has a spring quality to it. It's fresh, it's complex, it's got more going on in terms of its aromatics. The summer tea is mellower, has a nice smooth mouthfeel, but less dynamics, so to speak, in terms of the complexity of the overall flavor profile and character of the tea. Same farm, just a couple of months apart in their growing seasons, different weather conditions. The spring was a long, slow growing season with very little precipitation, and the summer has had a lot of rain and grew much more quickly. So there we have it. The other and final thing worth noting in terms of this summer harvest is that it is almost half the price of spring and winter harvest. So if you're looking for an everyday drinker and are a high mountain oolong tea lover, particularly from the Alishan tea growing region, we recommend this summer batch of Alishan high mountain oolong tea.